Hello, my name's Eric Dubay. I'm a 35-year-old American living in Thailand. I'm a published author of 5 books, a musician, and a teacher of yoga and Wing Chun. In my early 20s, I discovered the existence of a worldwide conspiracy known as the New World Order, perpetrated by a bunch of secretive groups such as the Freemasons, the Zionists, the Jesuits, and other such shady, powerful organizations. In 2007, I began doing online activism on sites like AboveTopSecret.com, PrisonPlanet.com, and DavidIke.com, all of which I've now been banned from for posting material against their controlled opposition narrative. Also in 2007, I began writing my first non-fiction book, The Atlantean Conspiracy, an encyclopedia of various conspiracies and the evidence for them. In that book, published in 2008, there's a chapter on geocentricity, or geocentrism, the idea that Earth is the motionless center of the universe around which the sun, moon, and stars all revolve. I even quoted Charles Johnson, the president of the International Flat Earth Society, in that book. In 2009, after reading Samuel Rowbotham's Earth Not a Globe book and William Carpenter's 100 Proofs Earth is Not a Globe, I sent an email to Alex Jones because he'd been interviewing several NASA astronauts and praising them up and down, calling them heroes, and barely even touching on the reams of evidence that all of the moon landings were hoaxed on Earth. Alex's producer, Rob Dew, got back to me and said he would run it by Alex. I sent Alex a link to Samuel Rowbotham's book and recommended that he have Joe Rogan, me, or someone else on who knew about the moon landing hoax. Rob Dew nor Alex ever got back to me, but the next week on air, Alex mentioned my website and book, The Atlantean Conspiracy, and called me a flat earther, saying, "I have been contacted by some flat earthers saying I'm covering up the fact that it's some sort of Atlantean conspiracy."
The Earth being flat, that's clearly ridiculous. Though I've actually been contacted by some flat earthers saying I'm covering up the fact that it's some Atlantean conspiracy.
I mention this timeline because it is now often alleged that I am some sort of shill or controlled opposition myself who has hijacked the flat earth narrative. People like Matthew Boylan, Mark Sargent, Paul Michael Bales, etc. claim that they were the originators of the modern flat earth movement and that I have stolen or plagiarized their work. Quite to the contrary, I have provably been putting out geocentric and flat earth material since before any of these people. Not that it's a competition, but having been lied about so often regarding this issue, I feel the need to set it straight. So after 2009, I began researching flat earth much deeper. I found the books of Gerard Hickson, Gabrielle Henriette, David Wardlaw Scott, Thomas Winship, and many other knowledgeable flat earthers. I began to form an understanding and wanted to write my own book and make a documentary on the subject. Now, if you look at Google Trends, the term flat earth hasn't seen any sort of rise in the past decade until November 2014, which is the exact month which I released the Flat Earth Conspiracy book and documentary and began doing interviews. This is the first pro-Flat Earth book written in 50 years, and in Google Trends you can see a parabolic curve starting at November 2014 for people looking into the term Flat Earth. Before November 2014, if you typed Flat Earth into Google, you got hundreds, not thousands, not tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands, not millions like now, only a few years later, but hundreds of results. And most of the results were the Flat Earth Society, which is a satirical, comical, controlled opposition, Freemasonic website forced to the top, even today, to the top of Google searches. A site that purports false flat earth arguments which no genuine, legitimate flat earther believes in, such as gravity exists, but the flat earth disk constantly rises to account for the effects of it. No flat earther actually believes this, but by putting it on the first page of a Google search, the Flat Earth Society, when people start to look into the subject, they see such ridiculous answers and are instantly turned off. And that's the whole point of controlled opposition and the Flat Earth Society. So I have a unique perspective because I've been researching Flat Earth since before it was popular, and there was barely any information about it on the internet whatsoever. So when people say, Flat Earth is a psyop, it's a controlled rollout, man. The government is releasing the Flat Earth. The Illuminati wants you talking about Flat Earth. To me, it's ridiculous, because I'm the one that rolled it out. And regardless of various accusations, I am not a Freemason, or working for the government, or undercover Illuminati. I'm just a normal guy that discovered an extraordinary conspiracy, and for over a decade now has been doing my damnedest to expose it. So Flat Earth is not a psyop. Flat Earth is not a controlled rollout. The globe is the psyop. The globe has been the 500-year controlled rollout. And how do I know they don't want you to know about Flat Earth? Because of everything that has happened since November 2014. There has been a controlled rollout. There has been a Flat Earth psyop. But it's not that the Earth isn't flat. It's that not everyone who claims to be a Flat Earther is actually a genuine truth seeker. Since 2014, there have been a whole host of new Flat Earth conspiracy figureheads on YouTube and on other websites who are now setting up Patreons and GoFundMes and making lots of money, super chat, monetized YouTube accounts and whatnot, setting up Flat Earth international conferences in America, the UK, and New Zealand, doing television interviews, international radio interviews, but not me. I haven't been on international television or behind any international conferences. There's been this whole new group of Flat Earthers over the past 3 years who have shown up. Many of them are genuine, great people, and many of them are beyond questionable. As you can imagine, when exposing a 500-year running conspiracy involving the NASA, the UN, and World Freemasonry, there's going to be death threats, which I receive regularly, and controlled opposition agents will be sent in to infiltrate and co-opt the growing movement. I'm doing this podcast to expose the evidence I've compiled that several such government shills are currently hard at work doing just that.
Like Paul Bale sitting jealous in his bathrobe, or Stephen Christ looking sly in his dim light, Orphan Red on her bed flashing gang signs, or Mark searching from a game design standpoint. like rain griffins, interpretive dances, past years, fake smiles, and furtive glances, Powerlands, weird songs, and rambling rants are like John LeBon, always changing his stance. The shill M.O., it's always the same. Take the flat earth keyword and make it so lame that it stays taboo and avoided like the plague. So it seems like you're trolling and just playing a game. Mix some misinformation and you're ready to play. Put flat earth in the title and your shills get paid. It's as easy as that, just Google Hangouts all day. Keep it kosher and bash on Eric Dubay.
Mark Sargent. About 6 weeks after my Flat Earth book videos and articles started going viral, this character showed up on YouTube, making a series of well-presented Flat Earth Clues videos, uploading a new one every day. Next, he started getting several radio interviews per week, got his very own radio show, and even went on Coast to Coast AM, all in the name of exposing his Flat Earth clues. These clues, however, instead of revealing actual scientific evidence and experiments which prove the Earth to be flat, like myself and all genuine flat earthers do, Mark's clues are always merely his personal speculations. For example, Mark's first flat Earth clue is that Hollywood hasn't really made many movies about the moon landings, and this gives him a raging clue that Apollo was fake and the Earth is flat. His second clue was claiming with no evidence whatsoever that Freemason Admiral Byrd had reached the dome. The unfounded claims only got more ridiculous as Mark began doing radio interviews. Suddenly he began saying that the moon and stars are not there, they are holographic projections, and recommending at least once per show that everyone must visit his fellow shill Crow 777's YouTube channel. I called Mark out on this, giving abundant evidence that the moon and stars are natural luminaries and not holographic projections, to which he responded only once, and did so not personally, but through another fellow shill, a Sensi. A Sensi relayed Mark's message, which said, "Of course I don't have evidence that everything in the sky is a projection of some kind. The look and opinion I'm taking is strictly from a video game design standpoint." And herein lies Mark's method of muddying the waters of truth and poisoning the flat earth well. Everything he has to say on the flat earth subject is based on his model, not science, evidence, experiments, proof, or reason, but rather what he thinks works best from a game design standpoint, because he used to be a video game designer. So he claims without evidence the celestial bodies are projections. He claims without evidence that Admiral Byrd reached the dome. He also claims without evidence that heat is not caused by the sun in his model, but by unknown processes underneath the flat Earth. He has claimed more than once that gravity is something we can prove obviously exists, when all genuine flat earthers know gravity does not exist, has never been proven, and is just density. He even recently introduced his own untested theory of molecular magnetism to explain gravity in his enclosed flat model. In interviews, Mark regularly lies about me, saying things like, "Eric thinks the moon is two-dimensional, while he thinks it's three-dimensional," when the truth is that I have always said the moon is a natural luminary, while he says it's a holographic projection. He claims Eric considers himself a flat earth purist, another lie I've never said, nor do I even understand what a flat earth purist is supposed to be. In one interview, Mark had the audacity to lie and claim that I purport that the flat earth disk is constantly rising to account for gravity, when I have exposed in my articles and interviews repeatedly that this is a false flat earth argument put forward by the controlled opposition Flat Earth Society, and that gravity doesn't even exist. In early interviews, Mark claimed to have read some of my book, but when cornered in later interviews, claimed to have not read my book. He constantly promotes the Orlando Ferguson concave Earth map as being one of the best flat Earth maps, when it is clearly one of the worst. He mentioned in one interview the suspicious fact that he worked in internet data mining for 3 years, and he constantly plays with a tiny globe before the camera in every interview, subconsciously reinforcing the globe model while talking nonsense about the flat Earth. Patricia Aiken even asked him during her interview to please stop doing this, and he agreed and promised to stop, but then in his very next interview, and many since then, has broken his promise and continued to play with this little ball Earth. In his interview with Dan Lefkowitz, after 50 minutes of speculative evidence from every ancient myth he's found, Dan asked, "Is there any other proof the Earth isn't spinning other than these ancient texts?" At which point Mark made the shilliest statement of his career, claiming, after a 5-second pause and long exhale, "If there was, I think we'd probably know it at this point," and nervously, annoyingly laughs as he does every time an interviewer asks him a straightforward question. Claiming to know of no evidence or proof that the Earth isn't spinning other than the ancient texts is ludicrous, disingenuous, and proves Mark has no business in the Flat Earth movement. In the same interview, he also lied that he's been trying to patch things up with Eric, when we haven't talked whatsoever. In his Ball Earth Skeptic interview, Mark came right out and said, "I'm not even that attached to the flat model. Everyone has their models with good and bad points. I have my model, Eric has his model, and even Lord Stephen Christ has his model, which is a lot better than the Ball Earth model. At this point, I'm just sure it's not a ball. Other than that is open to speculation." What kind of confidence does it instill in listeners when this supposed leader of the Flat Earth movement isn't even sure the Earth is flat?
You know, people ask me, Mark, could there be aliens in the domed flat Earth? And I say, listen, I used to design video games, alright? And in a video game, you can do whatever you want, okay? So that's my answer, basically, is, sure. You want there to be aliens? I'll give you aliens. You want, what else you want? Holographic moons? Stars? Yeah, it's just a piece of cake. Whatever you want, you know? People ask me, Mark, what about gravity? And I say, sure. You know, in a video game, all you gotta do is increase or decrease the gravity however much you want it, you know? So, what? Whatever. People ask me, Mark, you're obviously so genuine. Your 13 clues are way better than Eric's 200 proofs. So, what do you think of Eric? I mean, coming out with 200 proofs, isn't that pretty shilly? I say, hey, this flat Earth is big enough for all of us, right? That's my philosophy. I just want us all to get along. Eric is the one causing all the division in the movement. Okay? It's because of his ego, right? He's got this ego, and because of the ego, he thinks Patricia, Mark, Paul, Ashley, all of us Jew shields, he thinks we're Jew shields. I'm starting to sound like a Jew right now. That nasally, I can't hide it. Just oozing out on me. People ask me, Mark, why are they gotta play with a ball or like a frisbee when you give an interviews? And I say, I do what I'm told. Actually, recently I've been talking to Crow 777 about this particular frisbee. In fact, as you can see in here, this is a genuine photograph of a NASA astronaut taken on the moon, and there's grass on the moon. You can see the green grass on the moon, okay? Now, Crow 777 and myself are convinced that not only is the moon not there, it's a projection, a holographic 2D, maybe 3D, maybe 4D. We haven't thought of that before. Shit, I gotta call Crow. Alright, I just checked with Crow 777, and we're pretty sure now that the moon is a 4D hologram with grass, okay? It is not a desert planet, you know. The moon is not Arrakis or Tatooine, you know, the desert planets, Dune, you know, from science fiction. I'm a sci-fi guy. Anyway, it is terrestrial. with grass and frisbees. And Saturn is much closer than we have been told. In fact, from a video game design standpoint, I'm pretty sure Saturn is a holographic projection. And the ring around Saturn? Uranus. It's Uranus. People ask me, Mark, why do you always just go on and on about endless speculations and what you would do from a video game design standpoint? And I say, well, from a video game design standpoint, you can do whatever you want. So, that's what I do. People always ask me, Mark, you're such a cool, down-to-earth, trustworthy, honest guy. What does Eric and the entirety of IFERS have a problem with you? What is the big deal? And I say, look, when you sing Kumbaya as sweetly as I do, some people just don't want to join you around the campfire. But some people will, and that's why I'm here with Patricia. Well, the second annual Flatties were a wonderful success, and the first annual Flat Earth Conference was just out of this world. I mean, the media coverage that has been taking place at and since this event is paramount, is incredible. And do you know how I approach these interview opportunities? This is what I do, right? Ready? I come on the show, and they're like, oh, Mark, you have a very strange belief here. You're a flat earther. Yeah, tell me a little bit about the flat earth. And this is what I do. I say, hi, yeah, that's right. We live on a frisbee. We live in a planetarium. We live in a Truman Show enclosed system. We live in a Game of Thrones wall dome. Okay, we live on a spinning roulette wheel. We're in a Hollywood backlot with projection screens cut in the sky, projecting holograms and stars. Gravity exists, but it's molecular magnetism, and the flat Earth is heated by unknown processes from underneath, not by the sun. Yeah, they've been delving into Metatron and how they created my website and our phone apps and how the apps spy on everybody and track you, and how I admitted before that I was into data mining for 3 years, and they're putting all these connections together about how basically I'm a co-opting honeypot for the Flat Earth movement. You can read all about it on IFERS, but it's really a waste of your time. I'd recommend you don't subscribe to MGTV or Flat Earth Reset, right, or any of these other channels which are doing a wonderful job exposing the connections that myself and Patricia and other people allegedly have to entities such as NASA, Disney, and others. The Flat Earth Society has been posting about me claiming that I'm a member. I have said before that I'm a card-carrying member of the Flat Earth Society. People in interviews have introduced me as Mark from the Flat Earth Society, and I never correct them. Basically, I'm just like the Flat Earth Society. I am the Flat Earth Society 2.0. I've basically co-opted the Flat Earth movement, and everyone loves me for it. Yeah, it's awesome. It's really awesome. It's really awesome. I love it. It's fun for me. And I never say anything bad about anyone. I'll never say anything bad about Eric. You know? That's just who I am. It's not in my script. It's not my backstory. It's me. I love everyone, even Eric. You might have seen my I am Mark Sargent shirts, you know? It's not that I'm a narcissist or want to detract from the Flat Earth message. It's just that I want to prop myself and my name up as being the Flat Earth name, you know? It's not that I want to be a leader as much as I want to be the Flat Earth leader, okay? It's not so much that I'm the king of Flat Earth. I'm the father. Because I don't want to be elitist about it, you know? We're a family here. I'll be your father. I'm not going to be your king, all right? Father of the Flat Earth, King of none, father of all. Mark Sargent. I am Mark Sargent. I'm selling those I am Mark Sargent shirts, by the way, if anybody wants them. Nobody has bought them. Nobody seems to think it's funny. I don't know why. I think it's funny. It's like, the Spartacus? We did it on Patricia's show. It was funny. Well, I'm Mark Sargent. No, I'm Mark Sargent. Like that movie. It was pretty cool. It was awesome. It was actually the best moment ever on Patricia's show.
Andrea Sensi, or Asensi. Right after restarting the IFERS, the International Flat Earth Research Society Forum, my biggest fan and most enthusiastic and prolific poster was one Andrea Sensi, allegedly an Italian banker who watched my Flat Earth conspiracy documentary and was instantly converted to a flat earther. He subsequently divided his time between sucking up to me, dismissing the shilliness of his friend Mark Sargent, creating sock accounts to like and agree with himself, and otherwise filling the forum with useless content as per COINTEL shill protocol. When his constant defense of Mark Sargent became unbearable, his sock accounts discovered, and he started making paranoid rants about us needing to shut down the IFERS forum for fear of our lives, Asensi and his other multiple personalities were banned. To everyone's surprise and amusement, however, Asensi and all his sock puppets quickly created their own forum from where they obsessively attempted to infiltrate, criticize, and denounce IFERS, its posts, its members, and especially its leaders and management. He and his multiple personalities then went on to create and participate in 3 further failed forums, all dedicated to trashing IFERS. He even paid to have several banners advertising his forums appear on the IFERS forum, which due to third-party controls, I couldn't even block them myself. Lord Stephen Christ. Before writing my book, I noticed this ridiculous shill on YouTube sporting a Masonic logo and claiming to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. He states with little to no evidence, but very high-end 3D graphics models, that the Earth is neither flat nor convex, but rather it is concave. He and the other leading concave earther, Wild Heretic, give a whopping 4 proofs for their model, 3 of which come straight from flat earther Samuel Rowbotham's book. Compare this with flat earther William Carpenter's 100 Proofs the Earth is Not a Globe, or my book 200 Proofs Earth is Not a Spinning Ball, and it becomes apparent how laughable these concave Earth theorists are. He and his cohorts troll every flat Earth channel, threatening to flag their videos and report them to the NSA, which he also did to me, claiming he'd report me to the NSA and that I'd better repent because I was living inside his concave Earth. Remember, he thinks he's Jesus. Since then, I've had the divine honor of having our Lord and Savior Stephen Christ devote several videos he puts out beyond the subject of debunking and denouncing me and my work. Stephen even joined Asensi's shill forums, and like Asensi, paid for banner ads on IFERS. Leo Ferrari, Daniel Shenton, and the Flat Earth Society. The Flat Earth Society is a controlled opposition group that mixes truth with lies and satire to discredit genuine flat Earth research, a job they've been doing for a long time now. Founded in 1970 by Leo Ferrari, a suspected Freemason and philosophy professor at St. Thomas's University, Leo spent his life making a mockery of the legitimate subject of our flat Earth. Leo would always take a pumpkin-sized rock with him to lectures and interviews, claiming he brought that stone back from the edge of our flat Earth. He would say with a huge smirk on his face how his boat had fallen over the edge, but he was luckily saved by hanging onto this rock. Clearly, treating our flat Earth in this tongue-in-cheek way discouraged people from taking the matter seriously. Ferrari's entire shtick involved approaching the flat Earth subject from every angle except the rational and scientific, just like Mark Sargent. For example, he published a series of articles including The Global Fallacy as a Cause of Racial Prejudice, arguing that people in countries at the top of the globe felt superior to those at the bottom, when in fact there was no top or bottom to the world, so even if one assumed that the world was spherical, the top and bottom have been arbitrarily selected, resulting in racial discrimination against those in the South. How can the globularists, their hirelings and dupes, seriously claim to believe that all men are created equal when they teach that some men are eternally fated to hang like bats from the bottom of a globe on which other men stand upright? The only solution is a flat earth. So, instead of presenting measurable, provable, demonstrable experiments, instead of presenting any proofs or evidence, Ferrari would often simply argue the flat earth as a serendipitous satirical solution to social problems. Though he passed away in 2010, his Flat Earth Society still exists today online as a website and forum which, still true to form, now run by Daniel Shenton and Company, purports several false flat earth arguments and treats the entire subject as a deadpan joke. A Google search for any flat earth related subject will bring the top results for several threads from the FES forum, a quick glance at which will show you that FES is where legitimate flat earth questions go to die. The board's awash with convex, concave, and flat earth shills ready to pounce upon all new members and turn them off as quickly as possible. Their laughable podcast section has only 4 broadcasts, 2 about science fiction and 2 about the hollow earth. None even touch on the subject of evidence or proof of our flat earth. Upon starting my own rival IFERS forum and calling out the FES shills, several of their administrators and moderators joined up, praised me for my work, nominated me as joint Flat Earth president, and in a last-ditch attempt to co-opt me and my work, asked if we could merge our forums as one. I was more than willing, but they would have had to comply to my terms, which they weren't willing to do so. So I remain president of IFERS only, a distinct organization from the Flat Earth Society. Matt Powerland, or Matthew Boylan. This alleged NASA insider turned flat earth whistleblower has turned out to be suspicious in many ways. When someone sent him my documentary in November 2014, Matt immediately contacted me and invited me to Skype several times. We had a couple calls, but he did 95% of the talking, interrupted me often, and recorded some calls without informing me first. He seemed a bit off, but I chalked it up to his eccentricity and still figured he was genuine, listening to him discuss his commissioned art murals and his concern about shills infiltrating the Flat Earth movement, among whom he listed Mark Sargent, the Flat Earth Society, Stephen Christ, and Laurie Freire, all people who I had also suspected. Next, Matt released his Crazy Notion video, where he is suddenly chatting with top shill Mark Sargent like old friends and presenting his revelation, which is actually pure speculation, but he adamantly states as fact that the Earth plane is infinite, with no dome, and there are many other flat Earth systems beyond the Antarctic ice. I admit this is a plausible theory, as is Mark's enclosed model theory, but the disingenuous problem here is that Matt nor Mark treat or express these theories as theories, but as gospel truth. Matt also included in his video a series of failed Skype calls between he and I, which he did not inform me he was recording, and which dropped every few seconds or minutes due to connection problems. Instead of editing this out, or chalking it up to normal connection problems, Matt instead left all the dropped calls and claimed in paranoid rants between each one how they don't want us flat earthers connecting, so they were causing each call to be dropped. Searching through Matt's older videos on his channel, it's clear that such paranoid, aggressive, off-putting rants are part of his shtick, and the flat earth subject is more of an aside to his other performance pieces. His YouTube The NASA channel is far less concerned with exposing NASA or the truth of our flat earth, and more concerned with Matt painting on naked women's bodies, ranting about random subjects like Axe cologne, hookers on Tinder, and promoting his championship status sexual prowess. There are also suspicious videos about Stephen Hawking, and one with Matt in what appears to be stage makeup, claiming to have been intentionally hit by a car, driven by a plainclothes police officer purposely trying to assassinate him. Matt claims to be ex-NASA, graduated from a Jesuit school, and even wears a huge Masonic 33 on his orange shirt in a recent video. He always points fingers at the Jesuits for the global conspiracy, but hammered the final nail in his shilly coffin when he wrote and posted an article claiming anyone, like myself, who points the finger at Jews or Judaism as being in any way behind this deception is a disinformant. I have shown in my Flat Earth Conspiracy book, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that World Freemasonry has been responsible for this global deception, and a simple Google search of Judaism and Freemasonry will satisfy anyone of the fact that World Freemasonry is 100% beholden to, originates from, and maintained by world Jewry.
Hey there, Patricia. It's nice to be on your show. First of all, I just wanted to, let me just check and make sure I'm recording. God damn it, they've done it again. They turned off my personal recording of this show right now via remote control. They've been doing this for years. Patricia, hold on for just 1 second. I need to make sure that they are not currently hijacking my upload link to the cipher MD-5. This is just standard protocol for these people, all right? Back in 2001, all right? Let me tell you a story. 9/11, 2001. Where am I? New York, all right? What do I have a premonition of? Buildings falling. What do? Get the hell out of there. Who do I call? No, not the Ghostbusters, you idiot. I call NASA, all right? What does NASA say? We knew it was happening. Now, paint us some photorealistic CGI. Okay, I think everything for now is okay. I've made sure I've set it to record. I have a backup auto record, okay? On my cell phone, I've got Jeff and Jeremy and James and Jimmy and everyone else. They're also simultaneously recording this. We're doing a simulcast, okay? This is being simulcasted around the flat Earth right now because what we need is a scientific method trip across Antarctica. 6 ships, 600 miles, 666 people, and we need to go, and we're gonna gamble in Vegas odds, and we're gonna bet who thinks the Earth is flat, and who thinks that it's a ball. And if the ball people are right, then you were right all along, weren't you? Now you're gonna make some money. Congratulations. But if it's flat, as I knew it was, God damn it. They shut off the recording again. Patricia, bear with me for a second. The remote control hijacking my technology again, as usual. NASA, the government, the chemtrails. Yesterday, they put chemtrails inside my apartment. Now, Patricia, listen to me. They spray chemtrails now, targeted trajectory projectile chemtrails into your apartment, okay? They can float it in through the ventilation system, through the centralized heating and air cooling systems of any house, flat, apartment, condo, or other localized dwelling, and they can target you infrared, oxy, big words, NLP, chemtrails, flat earth, cell phone, and art. I'm an artist, right? See, what they don't understand is that I'm an artist, all right? I'm a real guy, okay? I'm just a regular everyday guy, okay? Sometimes I do gay shit in Hollywood, okay? Sometimes I'm in comedy shows where I expose the flat earth, okay? Sometimes I do interviews in a manic style to discredit everyone. And sometimes there's a chemtrail coming in my window right now. Hold on a second, Patricia. I got a phone call coming in, and I gotta take this, all right? Hello? I can't hear you. Yeah, look, listen, I can't hear you, and it doesn't matter, okay? Because when you have a conversation with Matt Powerland, you might as well have a conversation with yourself, okay? Because I don't stop talking, because I got a lot to say, and you got a lot to listen to, so you better buck up and just get ready to have your ear chopped off like Van Gogh. You got that? You do got it. Good, you got that? As long as you got that, you better just stay on the phone for a bit longer, because you know what they're doing out there? They're putting chemtrails in my soda, they're putting electromagnetic waves through my car. So when I got, look, I was out painting a woman's body, okay, for my art, as I do, and there were electromagnetic chemtrails inside my paint, all right? I transferred the electromagnetic chemtrails from the paint through her pores into her skin, and she has now become my MK Ultra sex slave. That's what they put in the chemtrails, okay? You think the chemtrails are there to implant Monsanto seeds into the ground or something? No, come on. Chemtrails is all about electromagnetic manipulation of your inner brain cells so that they can create a complete Illuminati-controlled slave, all right? I've got 5 of them in my basement right now as proof, okay? I treat them quite well. I actually saved them, of course. I'm only keeping them in my basement as proof that the chemtrail, electromagnetic, paint conspiracy is real, and I'm gonna blow the lid off that. You don't even know the difference between a photo and a painting, okay? So take it from me. I'm a painter. I'm a working man, all right? I just happened across, I started this flat earth movement. I did. I started this flat earth movement. Listen, Patricia, really quick, I just need to tell you one more thing, all right? And bear with me because they've just shut off my recording once again. Remote control, hyper uplink. They're able to do it via satellite. No, wait, satellite's wrong. They don't do it by satellite. They say they do it by satellite. They really do it by hyper amalgamated, hypo. You know, sometimes I run out of big words, okay? I can't string them together, and I expect you to butt in to the interview at those moments, okay? When I'm talking, you shut up. But if I run out of big words in a string to say, regardless of whether they have meaning or not, that's your chance to come in. I'll let you say a sentence, maybe 2, max, until I think of my next diatribe, and then you better get ready to listen, because that's your place. Know your place in the Flat Earth movement. Leader, you. Follower, okay? So listen, yeah? You want to know about Flat Earth? You all need to become better listeners, okay? You need to listen to me talk. I got a lot to say, and you got a lot to listen to, all right? Because I started this movement, and you want to be part of it? You better get ready to listen to me. Art.
Jeranism. This recent arrival to the Flat Earth community began putting up high-quality YouTube videos in March 2015, asking people to donate to his Indiegogo campaign so that he could produce a book which would expose the greatest hoax ever sold, a book like the one I'd just published 5 months prior, without donations. Next, Jeranism suspiciously joined 2 of Asensi's shill forums, and at this point I also noticed Jeran defending and promoting the Jewish Holocaust nonsense and denouncing Hitler in his comments sections, all traits of a Zionist shill. Giving him the benefit of the doubt, however, I noticed several of his newer videos were quite good, and got word of his idea to record a laser experiment to disprove the Earth's supposed curvature. Jeran set up a second donation page, this time with GoFundMe, where he began taking donations not only for his Flat Earth Experiments wish list, this time with GoFundMe, where he began taking donations not only for his Flat Earth Experiments, but also for a wish list including not only a telescope, laser, computer software and hardware, but also the kicker, to help pay off the mortgage on his house. Once others had already donated his telescope and laser, he put out the call for $200 more that he needed to secure a professional videographer for 2 hours to film the event. Being the enthusiastic Flat Earth missionary I am, seeing what I'd hoped was another genuine truther in need, and hearing him assure us in the video that he would complete successful test runs before hiring the videographer, I decided to donate the entire $200 to Jaren. Right around this time, he finally joined IFERS and introduced himself, saying he owed Eric Dubay a lot for allowing me to open my mind to the point that is needed to see the deception that currently plagues the world. This was quite strange, considering he'd never contacted me or joined my forum before now, admitted to having never read a single page of the forum, and yet he was already registered and posting on two of my sworn enemy Asensi's shill forums. Next, Jaren decided to criticize IFER's strict policy of banning shills, then brings up and defends top shill Mark Sargent. As shown in the IFER's thread, Jarenism is a raging shill, even after reposting all the evidence I've compiled of Mark's lies and misinformation, Jaren still decided to side with Mark and further condemned IFERS for our strict policy of banishment. Soon, IFERS members started digging into Jaren's online history and found some very significant accusations of Bitcoin fraud. A website named JarenCampanilla.com was created by a man accusing Jaren of scamming, extortion, blackmail, and personal defamation. Upon receiving word of what we had dug up on IFERS, Jaren completely flipped out, and you can read his weak attempt at defending himself in the thread mentioned. As for the laser video, due to poor planning and not completing a successful test prior to hiring the videographer, Jaren ended up having to pay for a second day of filming, only to find that his laser dispersed into a 10-foot beam across the ocean, completely nullifying the results. You can hear him in interview with his new best buddy Mark Sargent acting like the laser experiment was some big success and trying to spin his side of the IFERS drama referenced above. He was also on the radio with Mark earlier that week, admitting that even though my profile logo shows a flat earth map, I'm not actually 100% a flat earther. I'm just 100% sure the earth is not a ball. Once again, a supposed leading flat earther stating on radio interviews that they're not even sure the earth is flat.
Hey everyone, it's Jaren from Jarenism here. Just reminding you to empty out your brain. There's truth inside. And wanting to remind you to treat me better than you treat yourself. I mean, treat others better than you treat yourself. I heard that from Mark Sargent, and I really like it, because it puts people in the mindset to literally treat me better than they treat themselves. So when I put a GoFundMe campaign up and I put my mortgage and everything else that I need to pay for this life on there, people will treat me better than they treat themselves. Please donate, please. Hey guys, Jaren from Jarenism here. The 37th try for the laser tests coming up soon. Even though I still haven't gotten it to work at all, proven shit, I think it's been a great success, the first 36 attempts. And, I'm looking forward to 37. But I do need your funding. Hey guys, this is Jaren from Jarenism. Still here. Still collecting donations. Still haven't done a successful laser test. But we're adding to it. I got a Patreon now, GoFundMe. Basically, you name the e-begging campaign, I'm there. And we got new experiments coming in, right? For instance, we're gonna do high altitude balloon launch again with my dad, with Bob. And last one, you know what we did? Put a GoPro on it. Rookie mistake, I know, sorry. So we're gonna need more funding for a non-GoPro camera for this second rocket launch. That's what we're gonna do, okay? And we've just started FE Core, all right? Now FE Core, it doesn't stand for Flat Earth. It stands for Field Engineers, like myself. I'm a field engineer now. Mark, Bob, all the shills. We're all doing it. We're all in on it.
We're all field engineers now, okay? And now we're taking the funding to the next level, basically, because with this, it's like a 501c3 or 508G7. I can't remember the... Basically, we can get government grants now. And we're talking big money. We're talking $250,000. We're talking about paying off my mortgage that I put on the GoFundMe back 2 years ago. We're talking about making it a reality. Missy, put on the red underwear tonight. We made it.
Crow777 is the YouTuber behind the Lunar Wave videos, promoted by the establishment Huffington Post and by top shill Mark Sargent in almost every interview he gives. Crow's entire channel is dedicated to his claim that a digital wavy line filmed with his high-tech cameras proves that the moon is not a natural luminary, but rather a holographic projection. This is just like how David Icke says a bunch of great stuff, then writes a whole book saying the moon is a hollow spaceship piloted by reptilian aliens who control humanity with mind control moonbeams. These agents purposely poison the well and muddy the waters to obfuscate the truth, which is that the moon is natural and not a hologram, no matter how many times Mark and Crow say so. Patricia Steer. This character, who looks like she could have come from Overactors Anonymous, starts a show of Google Hangouts every couple days with her best buddy Mark Sargent, top shill, where right from the early episodes starts saying how we need to unify, and anyone using the word shill shouldn't be taken seriously, ridiculing the idea that controlled opposition even existed. Meanwhile, having on one of her first shows the most blatant example of controlled opposition ever, Mr. Moot. Mr. Moot was a flat earth shill who donned a full set of armor and changed his voice like this, and says, "I am Mr. Moot, the defender of the flat earth." And Patricia had an entire 2-hour interview with this guy, where he's in a suit of armor, talking in a stupid voice, exposing the flat earth. Now, the point of Mr. Moot, and Patricia, and all of the other shills from the Flat Earth Society to Mark Sargent, is to do just this, to make the legitimate subject of Flat Earth look and sound ridiculous, to divert attention away from actual evidence, experiments, and proofs, onto, look at my cats, here's my jukebox, look what I'm eating, Eric's causing division in the movement. Shortly after Mr. Moot, she had Subcomandante Carlos, yet another person wearing a mask, acting like a lunatic, making Flat Earth look ridiculous. In fact, the majority of her guests make Flat Earth look and sound ridiculous in one way or another. Her and Mark Sargent also recently appeared in the shilliest Flat Earth documentary to date, which is now in theaters, Behind the Curve. Behind the Curve, as in someone who hasn't caught up, as in idiots behind the curve. Tongue-in-cheek, making fun of Flat Earth for an hour and a half. If you want to see what controlled opposition is, and why Mark and Patricia are perfect examples of it, watch their documentary.
Hello, and welcome back to Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. I'm your host, Patricia Steer, as always, bringing you people like Mr. Moot.
Well, my name is Mr. Moot because my true identity is irrelevant. Who I am, what I look like, my talents, where I come from, all of that is totally irrelevant to what my message is.
Subcomandante Carlos.
Why do you wear the mask?
Well, for several reasons. I mean, I don't think shame is one of them.
And bringing you quality Flat Earth content, such as the annual Flatty Awards.
Hello.
There was no way I could beat that dress with conventional weaponry. So I relied on technology.
Since many of you seem to still not understand this, I am not a crossdresser or a transsexual. This is a Versace choker. I wear this not to hide my man's apple, my Adam's melon here. Obviously, I have a feminine figure, feminine sloping shoulders, musculature, jawline. I have never done any plastic surgery whatsoever. No Botox, nothing of the sort. I'm vegan. I'm against any sort of unnatural body modification. I am not a transgender crossdresser. Okay, you can see here, this is indeed a pillowcase. Thereby, I do not qualify under the stringent standards of what would denote a transgender. I'm not. Okay, Antonio? Shut up. Shut up, Antonio. Okay? Stop it. It's too much. It's gone too far. Okay? I'm a vegan woman, half Jewish, 53-ish years old, and I look good for my age, and I have no Botox, no plastic surgery. Okay? I'm not an agent. I don't work for Metatron. Okay, I do work for Metatron. They create all our apps. They created Mark Sargent's website. The apps do spy on you. Metatron has now been connected to NASA. I have been called out for helping Globe Earth shills, funding them, like David King, fellow transgender. I mean, he's transgender, I'm not. You can see all this on IFERS. Eric Dubay posts all this stuff about me. None of it is true. What did you think of the Flat Earth Conference? I mean, wasn't that just emotional? I mean, coming back to my everyday life afterwards was just such a letdown. I'm having Flat Earth withdrawal symptoms, to be honest, and I just can't wait for 2018 for the Flat Earth Conference at the Denver New World Order Airport, where I can pretend to be the Queen of Flat Earth for a couple days and go on a stage and give people Flatty Awards. And oh my god, just thinking about it, Mark, just thinking about it, I can't wait. You can't wait either, right, Mark? And just to clear this up, Eric Dubay was invited to the Flat Earth Conference, okay? Robbie Davidson sent him a message, and the message said, "Hey Eric, I've got something I want to talk with you about." To which Eric never responded, and then Robbie and Mark and everyone else started saying Eric was invited to the conference and declined. Then when Eric confronted Robbie on this obvious lie, because he wasn't invited nor did he decline, Robbie doubled down on it. And now Mark and everyone else has been continuing this lie. And welcome back to Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. I'm your host, Patricia Steer, steering the Flat Earth movement right off a fucking cliff. And welcome back to Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes, where we interview everyone in the Flat Earth community except Eric Dubay. Because he doesn't want to be on the show. I have invited him time after time, and he refuses to come on my show. You know, all he ever does is do parodies of the show. Hello, my name is Patricia Steer, and this is Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes, where we never talk about Flat Earth, and we always talk about hot potatoes, like what your favorite color is, what drink do you prefer, many things. Are we on? Hi, I'm Patricia Steer, and this is Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. For those of you who are just joining us, my name's Patricia Steer, and this is Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes, where we discuss hot potatoes, and not the flat earth, ever. Though we do say the word flat earth a lot, don't we, Mark? That's right. We say the word flat earth a lot, and then talk about other random shit. So for those of you just joining us, I'm Patricia Steer, and this is Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. Episode 13. Ooh, what do they think about that, Mark? We must be shilly. It's episode 13. Even though I know this is just a YouTube video, in case you're just joining us, you know, maybe you clicked in and scrolled ahead to right now for some reason. If you did that, then hey, I'm your host, Patricia Steer. This is Flat Earth, Other Hot Potatoes. Welcome back to Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. I'm Patricia Steer, and this is Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. I'm Patricia Steer. In case you're just joining us, this is Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. I'm Patricia Steer, and this is Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. Now, in case you're just joining us, this is Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. I'm Patricia Steer, and in case you're just joining us, you probably didn't know that. So let me just refresh your memory and tell you once again, this is Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes, okay? I'm Patricia Steer, I'm vegan, I'm like 52, my mom's Jewish, but I'm not, so get over it, Eric. My name's Patricia Steer, this is Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes, episode, I don't know. We got some other shill on today. He's wearing a mask, of course.
Hey Patricia, my name is Random Flat Earth Shill 2279. You can find me on YouTube. I got 3 videos. Just started a couple weeks ago, but Patricia was kind enough to call me up and told me she liked my videos, and so here I am. Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes, goddamn.
And if any of you are just joining us, this is Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. I'm your host, Patricia Steer, and this is Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes, where we talk with masked gentlemen about their 3 videos on their YouTube account.
You know, sometimes people ask me, Random Flat Earth Shill with a mask, why you always gotta be wearing a mask? And I say, well, obviously, when you're going to deter neophytes from the movement, you got to wear stupid shit like this so that people that watch their first Flat Earth video and see some friggin' lunatic looking like this, they're not going to watch anymore. Job well done, Shills. Now you understand.
Welcome back to Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. This episode, it's Flatoween. You see what I did there? It's actually Halloween, okay? But what I did, because the Earth is flat, I replaced Hallow with Flat, and it's Flatoween. For Flatoween, I've decided to be Geordie LaForge. He's my favorite Star Trek character. Beam me up, Mark. And welcome back to Flat Earth and Other Potatoes. Now, today is a special day, right? Flatsgiving, Mark? And welcome back to Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. I'm Patricia Steer, and today is Flatmas. Right? It's December 25th, and that's Flatmas. I decided. Alright? Flatmas. And welcome back to Flat Earth and Other Slurred Potatoes. I'm Patricia Steer, and this is the New Year's episode. Fleers, cheers, Flat New Year. How do you fucking put flat into New Year's? Flat years, fleers, flu years. Flu years? Flat years? Flat years. Welcome back. I'm Patricia Steer, it's Flat Earth, Other Hot Potatoes, and it's flat years today.
Darren Nesbitt. Darren Nesbitt is allegedly a flat earther, but like the Flat Earth Society, alleges things that we do not and cannot know. He says, with no evidence, that the Earth is a square. He says with no evidence that the Earth has 4 corners. He says with no evidence the square Earth with 4 corners is held up by 4 pillars underneath it. He says then that the sun and moon do not circle over and around the flat Earth as we can observe daily, and we can prove by going to the Arctic during summer solstice and seeing the midnight sun, where the sun never sets but travels in a perfect circle around the observer. Now, shills like Darren Nesbitt ignore this fact of reality and say, no, the sun and moon have horizontal paths, and they go in straight lines. And then what does he say? To get back from west to east, they go through Pac-Man portals in the sky that no one has ever seen. So like in the video game Pac-Man, the sun just goes across from east to west across the square earth in a straight line, and then whoop, comes back to the east through a Pac-Man portal warp every day. Okay? This guy says this stuff with a straight face. He was at the UK conference, and he's got PowerPoint models and animations of this stuff, and people are eating it up, shaking his hand, clapping. The guy says the Earth is a square with 4 corners held up by 4 pillars. The sun and moon travel horizontally through Pac-Man portals with no evidence for any of this. And then when I point it out, people say, "You're causing division. We need unity. How dare you point out that someone is alleging things that are impossible? How dare you point out the wolves in sheep's clothing in our midst? How dare you endanger our kumbaya around the campfire?" Martin Kinney. Along with Darren Nesbitt, this guy Martin Kinney comes out of nowhere and is invited to the Flat Earth UK conference and gives a long presentation about how actually there are 3 suns, 3 moons, 3 ice walls, and 33 extra continents beyond the Antarctica that nobody has ever seen. Again, says with a straight face, presents hours of lectures, PowerPoint presentation, everybody claps, shakes his hand, amazing, wonderful, what a great model, I love your model, isn't that an interesting model? It's called the cosmic egg, don't you love his cosmic egg? No. How is it beneficial to have speculative models claiming with no evidence that there is 3 suns, 3 moons, 3 ice walls, and 33 continents beyond Antarctica that nobody's ever seen and we have no evidence of? That makes Flat Earth look stupid. That makes it sound like you're making shit up. That makes it sound like you're living in your imagination, which the people who are making this stuff up and the people who are supporting these people are. But we don't know any of this other stuff. We don't know that there's 3 suns, 3 ice walls, 3 whatever. Bob and Cammy from Globebusters are another one that do this. They've presented a diamond-shaped flat Earth and a heart-shaped flat Earth with 3 poles. This is the modus operandi of the controlled opposition, to bring up a bunch of straw men and imaginative theories that can easily be knocked down, and which neophytes will take one look at and never research again. Infinite Plane Society, IPS, this guy is a self-admitted ex-Freemason of the 32nd degree, as if it's possible for a 32nd Freemason to just up and leave the lodge with no repercussions, and to go on and promote the truth of Flat Earth, gaining a large following. It's impossible to be an ex-Freemason, especially one that goes on to expose the Flat Earth. Not only this, but he also constantly leaves $6.66 donations to other people in their super chats. He has also threatened death, torture, and other disgusting things upon fellow members of the Flat Earth community in private messages that he's obsessively sent to people such as MGTV and Flat Earth Reset, grossly articulating how he's going to extract his revenge on these people. Not to mention the name Infinite Plane Society. What kind of name is this for exposing the Flat Earth? Just like Matthew Powerland and his crazy notion claiming 100% that there is more land beyond Antarctica and that the Earth is infinite. They're both saying that it's infinite. You cannot say positively that the Earth is infinite because you haven't traveled infinitely to see that it's infinite. So again, this is a speculative model being touted as truth. And that's the problem. That's the controlled opposition. He doesn't know the Earth is an infinite plane, so calling himself Infinite Plane Society is already a straw man, is already false. Quasi-Luminous and David Maggi, or Flat Earth Paradise, these are two more suspicious characters promoting this blood over intent nonsense, where they encourage flat earthers to cut themselves, put blood on a piece of paper, and write some spell on it, which will allegedly allow for them to cross the frost bridge and go to North Pole Shambhala in 2019. It's complete cultish nonsense, clearly a controlled op to mix flat earthers with Satanism and blood rituals. Devin Maggi is now calling himself Hermes, messenger of the gods, and Quasi-Luminous calling himself Satan. It's almost like they want to appear like cult leaders. Orphan Red. Orphan Red. There's another one called, her name's Sasha, and she wears like princess dresses and Disney outfits and sits on her bed with these like little hearts and little girly shit everywhere. And then she talks in this bubbly, fake-ass voice, similar to Patricia's overacting, but even more so, and talks about Flat Earth. Today we're going to talk about Flat Earth. She laughs all the time, like everything she says is cracking her up. It's so funny. She's so cute. She can't stop herself from laughing all the time. So today we're going to talk about satellites don't exist. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, of course satellites exist. So her shtick is pretty friggin' simple to see. She wears low-cut shirts, sits on a bed, acts like a complete bimbo, and is just catering to this demographic of cleavage hounds. As usual, making Flat Earth look and sound ridiculous. Like a joke. Like something that only bimbos believe in.
Hi! You know who I am. My name's Sasha, and I just wanted to talk about the flat earth and drinky. I'm a wino. Hello. So, okay, I have a little story to tell you. Hold on, because when I tell stories, they get interrupted by my nervous twitching and flirtatious drunkenness. So, cutscene. Anyway, hi, this is Sasha, the orphan Red. I'm an orphan because my parents disowned me because of how freaking annoying I am. So, oh, and I'm red because it's my favorite color, and that's the kind of stuff that Patricia talks about on her show. What color you like and stuff. I like red. I like red wine. Okay, that's why. Orphan Red. I like to drink red wine because it's my favorite color, and it makes me forget about my terrible past. So, basically, I'm just like all the other shills. I make Flat Earth look stupid by being stupid on camera. I attract viewers with my good looks and great personality and all the proof that I provide everyone about the flat earth. Right? That's what I do in my videos. I give you flat earth proof. I turn you on to the flat earth. Seriously, they just pay me to do this, and I say, flat earth. That's it. Flat earth.
Then you got Jake Gibson, the Flat Earth asshole. who has called himself an infiltrator in a video where he said he would infiltrate the Flat Earth movement. He started by making decent Flat Earth videos. I was always praising and encouraging of his work in the comment sections, and at one point he just kind of flipped. He started calling the traditional Flat Earth circular representation a pizza, a frisbee, and anyone who used this map was now suddenly a shill to Jake. Now, I've always admitted that no map is 100% accurate, but his divisive stance against the best maps we do have is exactly what controlled opposition does. He called for a boycott of the best map, calling everyone shills who promote it, and doing so by screaming into the camera for an hour. Certainly not a productive way to point out potential flaws. He mentioned how certain celestial motions are in slightly different places than assumed, which doesn't mean that the map of the ground beneath us is at fault, but rather that the mapping of the sky needs adjustment.
Hey, you guys, I'm the Flat Earth asshole here. I just took some time off from doing young Robert De Niro impressions to come and say, the Earth is flat. What are you, living in a homeless tweakers shelter? Like me? No, I'm not living in a homeless tweakers shelter. I'm traveling all over flat America, getting all the flat earth pussy I can while you pay me to do it. Super chat with IPS all day long. Flat earth asshole. Yeah. Oh, and now that I'm back, now that I've fucked all the flat earth chicks I could are all around America, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna call out the AE map. You know, the AE map is fucked, alright? It's wrong, okay? I decided. You know how I decided? Some guy from Australia sent me a compass, and it was like southwest slightly, instead of just west. Boom! AE map, finished. Flat Earth asshole, new leader of the Flat Earth movement, because I'm here to tell you not to trust any map. You know, I know Eric Dubay already says that he doesn't 100% trust any map anyway, and the AE map is the best, you know, current map we have. The Hammonds, the Gleasons, these are undeniably better than the globe maps and the best Flat Earth maps available to us. But instead of admitting that, what I'm gonna do is call Eric a shill and everybody else a shill who ever uses the AE map. Because this guy sent me this is Southwest Compass, okay? You know, Southwest Compass, end of story. It's over. AE map is finished. Eric Dubay's a shill. Flat Earth asshole. Now, Eric Dubay blocked me on Facebook. You know, what nobody ever knows is because all I ever did was post my own material on every post of his, so he blocked me for being a friggin' spammer. But what I say is Eric Dubay never gave me a chance, and he just blocked me on Facebook because he can't handle the Flat Earth asshole. Eric Dubay made a reasonable, well thought out, polite response to my video swearing at him, calling him a shill and all this stuff. But I choose to ignore everything he said in that letter and just continue on as though, you know, he's a shill and the Flat Earth maps have zero validity. And not only do they have zero validity, neither does anyone who ever posts a Flat Earth map has a Flat Earth icon next to them. If they wrote a book and it has pictured AE map anywhere in it, you know, shill, okay? Shill. This is my detective work. This is how I figure out who's legitimate or not. If you have a circular Flat Earth map anywhere on your Facebook timeline, shill. Flat Earth asshole here. Not a shill, obviously. I'm an asshole, but I am genuine as fuck. Flat Earth asshole here. Just wanted to slap some bass for you. Robert De Niro look-alike, but only when he was young. We're talking Taxi days, you know, Taxi Driver. We're talking Deer Hunter. Was he in that one? You know, we're talking, you know, those old ones, the old ones. That's when he was good, And that's what I look like. Call that a lunar module. I call it a homeless tweaker shelter. Flat Earth asshole. Earth is flat. I'm an asshole. Slap on my bass.
Paul Michael Bales is a flat earther I met on Facebook in 2014 while researching and writing my Flat Earth Conspiracy book. We messaged each other back and forth only a couple times, and he recommended certain Flat Earth books for me to check out. That was the extent of our interaction until after my books, videos, and interviews came out. Then suddenly, Paul began posting that he had in fact awakened me to the Flat Earth and taught me everything I know about Flat Earth. Not only that, but he claimed my entire book was plagiarized from old Facebook posts of his. A laughably ridiculous claim, as our writing styles are nothing alike, and nothing from my book can be found in his Facebook posts. In several videos he made since then, he also upped the ante from me being not only a plagiarist whom he taught everything to, but also claimed I was a CIA agent, a Freemason, a Hollywood actor, a psychopath, a murderer, a wife-beater, a homosexual, a Nazi, a child trafficker, a drug smuggler, and, surprisingly, much more. The unfounded claims just continued, and Paul Michael Bales made dozens of videos slandering me over his career as a Flat Earth shill. He claims to have taught me everything I know about Flat Earth, but as I showed previously, I have proof of posting and publishing about Flat Earth since 2008 and 2009, whereas he admits to having only been a Flat Earther since 2012 and posting about it since 2013. So since we met in 2014, it's impossible, just like every other thing he said about me, that he could have taught me everything when I found out about Flat Earth years before him.
Oh, right. Hello there. This is Paul Michael Bales. Before Elvis, there was some black guy. Before Christopher Columbus, there was some black guy, right? And before Neo, right, was Morpheus, black. And before Eric Dubay, Eric Dubay was Paul Michael Bales. Flat Earth conspiracy. It's mostly just plagiarism. He mostly just took other people's work. That's all it is, really. The whole thing. Entirely. It's... Unlike myself, I also am a published author and poet. You can find my Flat Earth book. I sell on eBay. Limited time. Still some copies available. Flat Earth and other ridiculous nonsense. I'm going to be on the Patricia Steer show, my idol.
I'm going to read a little poem by Lenny Christina Randall. Mark Sargent be like, the moon is a hologram, and IPS will raid your chats with spam. Skiba wants you to sacrifice a lamb. Check out gay porn starring Math Powerland. Patricia Steer's a man. Quasi-Luminous is in La La Land. ODD might grope your fam. Jaren running Bitcoin scams. Flat Earth asshole wants you as his fan. Cammy, Bob, and Nesbit with bizarre map diagrams, and Paul Michael Bales with his plans to cram lies down your diaphragm. But you probably still don't understand. You think that this is fine, and run to it with glee. Pay $249 for a shill show VIP. Oh, silly me, I thought the truth was free. Not necessary to attend a Masonic Jubilee. Hell, I'll tell you the earth is flat, but don't want my pockets getting fat. Fuck that, and fuck their agenda. They got your minds in a lying disinformation blender. Yet you still want to kill the sender of this message, like you know what's best for the movement to progress. Take a second guess. These shills got me stressed, like Pastor Odell eating a yodel, trying to invest in your need to be blessed, planting seeds of greed with every GoFundMe. Welcome to Flat Earth Virtual Church. It's a big religious circle jerk. No need for activism if God does all the work. This is another quick rundown by Linny Christina Randall about some of these shills. She says, Mark Sargent, the moon is a holographic projection, gravity is just molecular magnetism, you know, from a video game design standpoint. But, you know, whatever. Patricia Steer is great, and so is Orphan Red. We made a private video, but you can't see it. Darren Nesbitt, the Earth is a square with 4 corners, and the sun and moon warp into portals. Try to debate me, and I will block you. Infinite Plane Society, I'm an ex-Freemason of the 32nd degree. Help me promote FE by spamming people's YouTube chats with super chat donation of $6.66. If that doesn't work, we can always use a penguin meme and make Flat Earth appear to be even more like a joke. Jeranism, I went to an all-boys Jesuit-run school. I don't encourage activism, as it isn't my job, but please find the PayPal link in my channel and go fund me. Math Powerland, oh my god, the chemtrails in my air vents are telling me that people are triangulating against me. The Zionists should run the FE movement and buy my t-shirt after you watch me attempt to sing about nothing on my channel. If that fails, you can always check out my gay pornos on YouTube. Just search Hostile Hookup Matthew Boylan. Patricia Steer, welcome to Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes, where we sit here for 2.5 hours and promote what wine I'm drinking and what designer shirt I'm wearing. Find me on Instagram, where I post nothing Flat Earth related at all. My mother is a Jew, but I'm not. Carly Sunshine, I don't know why people are being so mean about Fepe, and if you ask me if I support Freemasons, I will tell you to tread lightly, and you'll be sorry, because I like to threaten people with violence, so full of sunshine. Jake Gibson, Flat Earth Asshole. Please donate to me so I can travel around and interview people wearing Illuminati t-shirts, call you my fan, and if you talk about Zionism, you're a Nazi. ODD TV. I'm a sex offender. I used to call shills out with Eric Dubay, but after being invited to the Flat Earth International Conference, I've decided they are all great, and I swear I'm not getting paid a dime. ODD Hypocrisy. Quasi-Luminous. Just cut yourself and put your blood on this paper, and we can all cross the Frost Bridge and magically travel to North Pole Shambhala in 2019. Cammy. The Earth is a diamond shape because I said so. There are 3 poles: my pole, Bob's pole, and the North Pole. I even made my new map rainbow-colored for you. Daryl Marble. I mysteriously made the Israeli news, accidentally ran over and killed my ex-girlfriend, and don't you just love the blue marble reference in my name? I also go on Pat Steer's show, because shills of a feather flock together. Speakers at the Flat Earth International Conference 2017, Robbie Davidson, Morguile, Globebusters, plus the above mentioned, all charging you $249 for a VIP pass to go behind the scenes of this convention to be told the Earth is flat. Oh, and our conference is being held at a hotel in a room that features a shrine of globes sitting upon pillars. And you can view it online too, but not for free. And just to clarify my stance on some of those, ODD TV is someone who at one point I really liked, then at one point did a complete 180-degree turn on me, and then at another point came 360 degrees back around, or at least tried to. When he first came on the scene, he put out great material and called out shills like Mark and Patricia, and even made a song called Shillin' for the Flat Earth with Payday Monsanto, calling them out. After he was invited to the conference, however, and got put on television and was going mainstream, suddenly ODD was buddy-buddy with the shills, no longer considered Mark and Patricia shills, and instead insinuated that I was, saying things like, Mark and Patricia do much more for the flat earth than the people who call everyone shills, like you. He proceeded to call anyone who agreed with me Dubay dick riders, a term I'll never forget, seeing him reference anybody who followed my work, which he himself had always praised, and now, once again, to this day, continues to praise. But in this strange period of time, when he was invited to the conference, he became what we call ODD hypocrisy. And ever since then, myself and many others have had a hard time trusting him completely, though he does put out a lot of good material, and has now doubled back again, and seems to think that Mark and Patricia and other people, and there are shills in the movement.
But not me, bitch, I'm running through your gauntlet. A page chills like water through a faucet. Right quick like I knew from the onset. You try to hijack and co-opt the movement. But not me, see, I'm running through your gauntlet. A page chills like water through a faucet. Right quick like I knew from the onset. You try to hijack and co-opt the movement. Like Paul Bale sitting jealous in his bathrobe, or Stephen Christ looking sly in his dim light. Orphan Red on her bed flashing gang signs, or Mark Sargent from a game design standpoint. Like Rain Griffin's interpretive dances, past years, fake smiles, and furtive glances. Powerland's weird songs and rambling rants are like John LeBon, always changing his stance. The shill M.O., it's always the same. Take the flat earth keyword and make it so lame that it stays taboo and avoided like the plague. So it seems like you're trolling and just playing a game. Mix some misinformation and you're ready to play. Put flat earth in the title and your shills get paid. It's as easy as that, just Google Hangouts all day. Keep it kosher and bash on Eric Dubay. But not me, bitch, I'm running through your gauntlet. A page chills like water through a faucet. Right quick like I knew from the onset. You try to hijack and co-opt the movement. But not me, see, I'm running through your gauntlet. A page chills like water through a faucet. Right quick like I knew from the onset. You try to hijack and co-opt the movement.
I also want to mention the shenanigans at the first International Flat Earth Conference in 2017. People continually asking me if I was invited. I was not. When I approached Robbie Davidson, the organizer, asking why, he claimed that he had already invited me, and I never responded. I went back in my old messages and found that Robbie had Facebook messaged me that he had something he wanted to talk with me about. That was all. He never mentioned the event in his invitation message, but claimed that I was invited. I told him if he was serious about inviting me to the event, then he should have at least mentioned the event and invited me to it in his message. Anyway, it's clear that nearly every speaker at Shillfest 2017 was a controlled opposition disinformation agent, and this event is their way of trying to bring legitimacy to their pseudo-movement, where they leave out the Jews and claim that Eric is dividing us. There wouldn't be enough interest in the flat earth in 2017 to even have a conference if I didn't bring this topic back to the world's attention, But these shills have the gall to claim that I'm dividing the movement when there was no movement before I started it in November 2014. Anyone that doubts that, please watch the video, Who Brought Back the Flat Earth? And then recently, as I said, there was the UK conference where you got Darren Nesbitt saying Earth's a square on 4 pillars with 4 corners and Pac-Man portals warping the sun and moon back, and Martin Kinney saying there's 3 suns, 3 moons, 3 ice walls, and 33 extra continents no one's ever seen beyond Antarctica. So obviously, you can see what these conferences are all about. Making Flat Earth look stupid. And what happened right after the conference? Martin Kinney and Darren Nesbitt get on the most popular morning show in the UK. And while they're on there, Darren Nesbitt says gravity exists. Sounds just like Mark Sargent and the Flat Earth Society saying gravity exists. No Flat Earther thinks gravity exists. But somehow these guys get on television and then they go on and say things that no Flat Earther agrees with. While they were on that television interview, they also mentioned something which I find suspicious and wonder about. I've been trying to get a debate with Neil deGrasse Tyson for years. He even finally allegedly agreed to it, but then backed out. And then on this Good Morning UK interview with Nesbitt, Martin Kinney, and Gary John, the 3 of them, asked Bill Nye, Brian Cox, and Neil deGrasse Tyson to a 3 versus 3 debate on television. Now, this was interesting to me. I've been trying to get this debate forever. These guys come out of nowhere, they get on television, and now they're calling out Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bill Nye, and Brian Cox for a debate. Call me Nostradamus, but I wouldn't be surprised in the least if in the near future, instead of debating me, like he allegedly agreed to, and how the internet has been calling for the past 3 years, instead of engaging with me, what do you bet? Neil Tyson is going to debate with Darren Nesbitt, or something similar, on television. Because this is how the controlled opposition works. They set up their own people, they set up their own straw men to knock them down. They can't allow genuine, legitimate people on television or in the public eye. They have to set up their own people there. And their own people have to pretend to be like genuine flat earthers. This is why there can never be, never should be, and never will be unity in the flat earth community. Because the enemy's main tactic is putting on a mask and pretending to be one of us, and pretending to be your best friend. They're everywhere. The flat earth community is rife with frenemies. Okay, lastly, I want to talk about claims that I'm controlled opposition, because once I start claiming people are shills, like typical schoolyard bully reverse psychology, they just point the finger back at me and say, I know you are, but what am I? And so now suddenly I'm the shill. Oh, Eric Dubay's the shill. Eric Dubay's controlled opposition. And they come up with a litany of reasons why I am so. And then I have to waste my time defending myself against ridiculous allegations that have no evidence whatsoever. And I'm going to do again right here, because people are constantly asking me to account for these things. So I need to have a link like this to send people to with answers to the dumb questions that have been programmed into them about how I'm a shill from other shills. So first, one popular claim is, Eric, you're a CIA agent. We have proof you lived in Washington, D.C. There are some websites that claim someone named Eric Dubay lived in Washington, D.C., and this is being used as proof positive that I am a CIA agent. Firstly, the two have no correlation whatsoever, as there are hundreds of thousands of non-CIA agents living in Washington, D.C. at any given time. Secondly, there is more than one Eric Dubay just from Maine, USA alone. One of them is an avid golf player and has many Google hits about his tournaments. Thirdly, I have never lived in Washington, D.C., regardless of what some random website claims. I have no idea why these websites are claiming this, but regardless, I've never worked for the CIA, nor have I ever lived in Washington, D.C. I've only been to Washington, D.C. twice in my life, and both of those times were before I graduated high school, for like a week. And on these websites, they don't even have an address or a time period for when I'm supposed to have lived in Washington, D.C. They literally just say Washington, D.C., USA. There's no street address, there's no apartment, there's no one you could call and check, oh, did someone named Eric Dubay live here? Nothing. So, no, I'm not a CIA agent, and I've never lived in Washington, D.C. Another claim is, you come from a Freemasonic family. Your uncle is a 33rd degree Freemason. Now, the only known Freemason in my family is my great-uncle, through marriage, James Mays, who married into the family through my grandmother's sister. He's not a Dubay, nor do we get along, and the only words we've spoken together since I've known he was a Mason and he's known about my books, I made public for everyone to see in an article you can Google called My Not-So-Great Freemason Uncle, when he called my book bullshit, then deleted his own comment and proceeded to block me on Facebook. He claims to be a 32nd degree Mason, and has insinuated that he knows the Earth is flat, and has told my dad various things like how I'm in danger if I expose the moon landing hoax, and how did Eric find out about these things, and whatnot. So anyway, yes, there is one Freemason in my family. The only reason anyone knows about it is because I'm so transparent and have told everybody. But then, of course, the shills just run with this transparency and say, oh, my whole family's Freemasons and whatever. We're not. It's so ludicrous when you speak out against a secret society and then people just claim you're in the secret society. They do the same with Hitler. They claim Hitler was a Freemason when Hitler shut down Freemason lodges, Grand Orient lodges, and Golden Dawn lodges all throughout Germany, Prussia, Austria. We can move on to that question next. Why do you promote Hitler? It's harming the flat earth truth. I've been writing about the hollow hoax, Jewish bankers, and such subjects for years before writing my flat earth books. So when I first came out saying the earth is flat, people said I was poisoning the hollow hoax well with flat earth. And once flat earth began making a stir and I uploaded my Adolf Hitler versus the Jew World Order documentary, people started saying I was poisoning the flat earth well with the Holocaust. To each accusation, my response is the same. I'm not poisoning any wells, as the flat earth is absolutely true, and the supposed Holocaust of 6 million Jews is absolutely false. Adolf Hitler was nothing like the Jewish media portrays him, just like our flat, motionless earth is nothing like the Jewish media portrays it. So, the fact that I expose other taboo subjects doesn't somehow make me controlled opposition. Your wife or fiance or girlfriend or some girl connected to you is part of the NWO dictatorial Thai government. So pictures and videos of a woman I was dating are circulating with claims that she is my wife or fiance, and that since her parents work for the Thai military, that's proof positive that I'm a New World Order shill. Firstly, I do not have a wife or fiance, and the girl in question wasn't even my girlfriend, but someone I dated for 2 months over 2 years ago. Her parents did work for the Thai army, but that has no bearing on me or my integrity, and I had expressed to them and their daughter my discontent for governments and militaries. You're a psychopath, and you abused your ex-girlfriends. As I've stated on many occasions, I broke up with my previous Thai girlfriends due to their aggressive behavior towards me and not the other way around. The woman showing a picture of a bruise on her thigh, claiming it as proof that I beat her, in fact abused me regularly throughout our relationship. She had a poor childhood resulting in borderline personality disorder, which would often surface in tantrums where she did everything from slap, punch, kick, scratch, and bite me. Tantrums so violent that I would have to restrain her until she calmed down. The reason we are no longer together is because I finally had enough of this and gave the ultimatum that if she ever got physical with me again, I would break up. And she did, so I broke up with her. The bruise on the thigh is merely from restraining her during one of these many tantrums. And the only reason anyone knows about this issue in my life is, again, because these shills contact each other behind the scenes and contact people connected to me. They've contacted 3 ex-girlfriends of mine to get whatever dirt they can on me, and this is what you get. Then they take the screenshots and conversations and weave this web of conspiracy where I'm some psychopathic, abusive boyfriend or whatever. And then they use that as though somehow killing the messenger, like the earth isn't flat anymore because I'm a psychopath, or I abuse my ex-girlfriends, so the earth's a spinning ball. You see, the whole point is smear the character because they can't attack the message, so they attack the messenger. What else? They said I was given a $100,000 vaccine settlement, and they have some documents of a guy named Eric Dubay who received $100,000 because of some vaccine gave him Guillain-Barré syndrome or something. Now this one has already been thoroughly debunked. Some good detective work by Ali Dohadwala shows that the Eric Dubay in question was a completely different Eric Dubay from me, with a different signature, and is 10 years older than me, and still lives in Maine. We have proof from his Facebook account talking about his vaccine injury, and his name is Eric Dubay. But again, this was used by Paul Michael Bales, another shill, and many others. Math Powerland has gone on about it. How I received this $100,000 from the government because of some vaccine. I haven't taken a vaccine since I was a kid. The signatures don't match up, and we have proof of the actual Eric Dubay in question. But to this day, Paul Michael Bales, or Paul Michael Dawson, as he's changed his name to now. Actually, Paul Michael Dawson appears to be his real name, and Bales was a pseudonym. He's still claiming that I received a $100,000 vaccine settlement. So that they use all of these ad hominem campaigns claiming that I'm a government agent, psychopathic, wife beater, CIA agent from Washington, D.C., Freemason, whatever. They create all of these to cast doubt in people's minds, and so that they won't look to me as a leader, and instead they'll look to one of these other controlled opposition figureheads as being a leader. I've said since the beginning that this is a leaderless movement and we don't really need leaders. Everybody just needs to take it upon themselves to spread the good word, and that's the kind of activism we need. But at the same time, when there's smear campaigns targeting the main genuine flat earther who brought this back to the forefront, meanwhile other controlled opposition figureheads are being placed on pedestals here, there, and everywhere, suddenly it does become important that the legitimate leaders are known to be legitimate and the illegitimate leaders known to be illegitimate. It is important to point out shills. It's important to point out the wolves wearing sheep's clothing. It's not important to have unity. It's not important to sing Kumbaya around the campfire with everybody who claims to be a flat earther. Not all flat earthers were created equal. Not all flat earthers are equally legitimate and genuine. The enemy's main tactic is pretending to be your friend. So there can never be unity. Big groups aren't going to work. We don't need that anyway. We need everybody to take it upon themselves to talk to everybody you know and everybody you don't know, to use social media, to use any form of activism you can think of. Go on ericdubay.com and click on the activism tab. There's pages, several videos, articles, lists of things you can do to help spread the word. You don't need a group. We don't need unity. You don't need to go to a conference. We don't need to get on the television. We just need activism. So everybody just keep on keeping on, keep the activism going, call out the controlled opposition, and support the genuine people.